as we prepare to ship our product to the United States, we cannot put it on a, and I'm talking about, this stuff is mostly about the sea freight. So let's say we have a container which you want to put on a ship. This is my version of the ship. Let's say this is a steamship, the container ship, and it's going to the United States. But here is a problem. After 9/11, after the terrorist attack on Twin Towers, United States government really was looking for measures that are more secure. And the primary concern was this dirty bomb, or the weapon of mass destruction, being snuck in through the container into the United States and being exploded or detonated somewhere in the country. And fearful of these concerns, and this was not only the with respect to the nuclear weapon, for example, it can be the biological weapon. The government really asked the customs, the Congress asked the customs, what can we do to help you do your job more efficiently and help you prevent this type of situation from happening? And customs said, well, you know, it would really help us if we know in advance what's coming. Because before this type of scenario, before ISF, before importer security filing, you had a vessel manifest, which once the cargo loaded, the vessel manifest was contain basic information, and depending on the port, customs, U.S. customs, may or may not see it. So customs decided to make a law that says the following, pretty much. Before the container goes on a ship, so this is, let's say the container is still in the yard. Before it makes to the ship, we would like to know certain information which will be pertinent to that container. And this information you came to know as 10+2, and 10+2, you will not find 10+2 in the regulation. You may find it in a supplementary reading which I provided on the website. But the 10+2 really refers to the data elements which must be provided to customs before the container ships makes it to the ship. So now we describe the situation, what's happening to the cargo. But we also need to be mindful about the type of cargo, because customs is looking is looking at whether the cargo is containerized, like this one, or the cargo is in bulk, like this one. And if the cargo is in bulk, then it's really exempt from filing. You don't need to do that. So if you bring a bunch of coal from China, let's say, to supplant the coal plant somewhere in California, or I shouldn't say California, maybe it's Oregon, then you wouldn't need to do it. Let's look at the data elements. So 10+2, 5+2 data element filing, those are the data elements which must be submitted to customs. But before you begin submitting those data elements, you also must look at what's going on. Is it for consumption or foreign trade zone, or is it for outside of the United States? Is it destined to, let's say, British Columbia in Canada, but it's stopping by Seattle before it goes to Vancouver, BC? So I'm talking about FTZ or consumption. This table refers to consumption or FTZ. FTZ plus, it refers to containerized cargo. I'm not sure it should be 0 S, so I'll make it confusing. So this is a table. So you have to have 10 data elements, and they are numbered here in the column 1. And first data element must be the seller number. What's the seller number? Well, look, it's the name and address of the last known entity to whom the goods sold or agreed to be sold. This implies, of course, that there may be more than one seller. So let's say I'm purchasing those laser pointers through the vendor in Hong Kong, manufactured in Shanghai, but the vendor in Hong Kong who gets the money, gets their agent cut, and makes sure arranges the shipment from Shanghai to Seattle. Let's say I'm Seattle, of those laser pointers. Who I report? I may need to report the actual manufacturer, but the seller is there, last known entity. The customs regulations say a widely recognized commercially accepted identification number. So instead of providing name and address, you can quote widely recognized. And the question is, of course, what's widely recognized? I know of only one such widely recognized number, which is called Dunn's number. Anyone heard of Dunn's number before? I was unable to, well, maybe, look, it loaded. Then, and so, it's a private company, which, just like Incoterms, which also, well, it's semi-private. It's a Paris-based organization, but a lot of Incoterms have roots in private contracts. Well, just like Incoterms, there is this agency called Dance and Brasser. It's not government agency. It's totally private. But what it does, it assigns a number to a certain company, and based on that number, you can kind of see the tree line. So if you put in, let's say, let's just give an example. Let's type down anyone interested in any company. They want a single electronic transmission rule, which says pretty much that it can be done as a single transaction, meaning entry documents or information because it's submitted digitally, and entry itself, entry information. So all the stuff that you need to put on the entry documents, which shall be extensively discussed later, you can do it as a single transaction. But since now you're venturing into the area what's called customs business, and customs business is limited only to those agents who are licensed customs brokers and or importers or records, so long as they act on their behalf.